Welcome to the show. We've lost some episodes. We're trying to upgrade and not be internet grandpas and, have better audio and video and all of those kind of things. And we royally screwed that up. And unfortunately for you, you missed out on a couple of episodes, guys, because we would have had to have AI Bobby, and it was not good.
All of this was my fault. I don't think you did anything. I think you had an episode where you recorded with the wrong microphone, but that's forgivable. I sounded apparently like trash. I haven't listened to it, but
did you listen to the recording of the AI enhanced version of your voice?
No. When Hudson told me he was enhancing, he was like, "Oh man, it's garbage audio," and I was like, "Uh-oh." And he's like, "I'm gonna see if I can enhance it with AI," and I was like, "Oh, it's gone. We're not gonna be able to use this."
There are so many things like in our business where something happens where I'm like, we should roll with this. This is funny. And that was one of them. Kind of like we had the big meeting the other day.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those, like, it'd be funny, but it's not good. And I would feel bad for the listeners, listening to Robot You. It'd be funny for a second, but they wouldn't get through the whole episode. So it's just
people would hate it.
I listened to 10 seconds and was like, no, can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if maybe I am. Dude, somebody emailed Millennial Money Man, and they were mad that we were emailing them, and so then they were like, all caps, like, "Stop effing emailing me." And so then somebody sent a gift back to him because it was in an inbox that I don't look at, and somebody sent a gift back to him and it was like, all you had to do is ask, and then the person responded with, "Shut up, Bobby, you old ass." Like that was. I was like, what did I do? Like, I guess I am getting old, but dang. But the technology part of it, it's like I used to be really good at technology, and I use technology every day. I'm not good with all of the new stuff that comes out, though, because now there's so many different AI this and podcast platform this and this thing to record and that. And like, I'm just not, I don't keep up with new tech as much as I used to.
Well, I think the thing is, like, I don't feel like I'm the most tech savvy person in the world, but there are certain tools that I can use really, really well, right? And there are certain things that you can use really well, and it's just you learn the tools that you need to use. And so, you're not just naturally like good at using all of the tools, but it's you figure it out. So I think it's one of those. We are doing the backup Zoom recording today, but hopefully we will be able to take the training wheels off by next episode.
Yeah, idiot proofing. What we're
all
really
right.
doing.
So what you want to chat about today?
I was asking about TikTok. You're the resident TikToker, and I focus very much on, Google, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep up with Facebook, and I've been really watching Twitter, and we've talked about Twitter in a million of these episodes, so I won't talk about it too much. It's just the one that seems to be changing the fastest for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget about TikTok these days because I deleted it off my phone because I just don't.
It's not good for consumption. Like, you gotta avoid that.
I just got rid of it. I look at a lot of, like, I find myself in the Facebook reel rabbit hole and the even Instagram rabbit hole, but like I just don't. YouTube, I don't really watch very much of, like, short form, and TikTok I just don't watch. I just don't like it at all. So
yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. More I listen to it, treat it like a podcast, when I'm cooking or whatever. I really don't get on Instagram very often. I get on there. There's like 2 people's stories I look at. I would say the one that I would, outside of YouTube, that would consume the most is Twitter, but I kind of stay off it a good bit too. That's a platform I'd really like to explore eventually. But yeah, I'm on TikTok all the dang time. I'm not using it as a consumer, really. I'm just using it to create content and grow my list and, generate leads. And it works really well for that. But, I look at the For You page and my brain, it melts my brain. So I only consume when I'm doing research.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, TikTok is like, one of the big problems I have with it, I don't feel like I can look at that if my son's around, because like and I know that it's just because I haven't looked at it long enough to make this stuff go away, but like every third video is something that's just like wildly inappropriate. And so then it's just like, I don't even want to have this on around my kids, so but anyway, but I know obviously it's a great marketing
Yeah.
platform. And I know that the ad stuff, I've heard that they're making improvements with ads. I don't really know. So I'm just curious, like, what's the state of TikTok?
I mean, I like it. I think the people that have been established on it are a little frustrated right now because it's changing and they don't want to change. They want the easy button. But I will say really quickly with the For You page, I mean, if you just spent 10 minutes, like, you know, going to the things you wanted to see and liking it, like actually following
Like
those
curate.
and going to those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you did that and then you unfollowed a bit, if you just spent 10 minutes doing that, and then turned it off and came back on, it would be switched.
Yeah.
The algorithm figuring out what to show you happens so fast. It's insane. But anyway, you know, I think it's really kind of interesting. Just to kind of give people that I started messing with TikTok really last summer, and struggled with it and tested a lot of different things. And then I finally started it. Like I started over, new account. And I guess it was in November. I'm about to hit 60,000 followers. I did 0 to 10,000 in under 60 days. And really there's a gap in there. I've only gotten active again in like the last month. I actually kind of took like a month off. And during that time, I still grew over 10,000 followers without posting anything, which was kind of cool. TikTok it's this interesting, it feels like a video Twitter in that like you can post things and, they can flare up and then disappear very quickly. It can get buried in the newsfeed, but it does. And it's getting more and more over time, this element of like the YouTube where stuff lives on forever and can live on for a long time. So, I'm a big fan of it. The growth is easy. A lot of my clients are implementing it and making money off of it with very low follower counts. Selling high ticket off of it organically is really effective. It's just so easy to create content on. So I'm a big fan of it. Like if you're trying to build an audience and you're trying to start generating leads, and you just like, if you're good at video, or if you're a good copywriter, like taking stupid videos, like I'll take random videos from my camera roll or just stare at the screen and put text over it. And that stuff works really well. So, it's definitely, if you're looking to start growing somewhere, like that'd be the first place I would look today, unless you are just very much a writer and a dedicated writer, then I might look at Twitter, but it's going to take you longer on Twitter for sure.
Yeah. So like where do you feel like you mentioned they're changing with the video length and, I don't, it's like, where do you see all of this going? Because you do see with Twitter, it's like you see podcasts are starting to sort of warm up the idea of just posting on Twitter. It seems like people are kind of trying to maybe find some other way that's not YouTube or something like that. Like, do you see TikTok going like long form, like long form, or do you think it's just going to stay super short or a minute? Or,
I mean, it's hard to tell where it's going to go. I can tell you where it's going currently is they are owning the 1.5 to 3 minute video space. So one of the things that's happening right now is that they are really pushing video that's over a minute long, because if it's over a minute long, you can't post it on YouTube Shorts. It's over a minute and a half long, you can't post it as a reel. So if you post a video that's a minute and 45 seconds long, it can only live on TikTok and they can't leave. And the goal of every social media platform is just to get people to stay on their platform and have original content. And so there's been so much of like you create on, TikTok and you send it other places, and they're trying to prevent that. And there's a lot of evidence to back this up beyond just like seeing the results of it, which I definitely am seeing the results of those, short educational videos. They have come out and said, we are pushing video over 1 minute long. 1.5 to 3 minutes is the sweet spot. They also released a new creator fund. They'd gotten rid of their creator fund where they would, pay you for your video content. And the new creator fund is your videos are only eligible if they're over a minute long, basically in competition with Shorts.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's higher paying. So they're realizing, just like YouTube is, that content under a minute is very hard to monetize. Like, it's hard to get the watch time and to get the views, and where do you put the ad? So they're trying to own that space. And once again, they're making a move when, ahead of Meta and YouTube. So I'm really interested to see, how YouTube or, Meta are going to respond. Like, are Reels going to become longer? Are Shorts going to become longer on YouTube? Like, it'll be interesting to see if they make any changes. I will say though, we're talking about Reels. Meta is really pushing Facebook Reels, and they are basically abandoning Instagram Reels. So they have come out as a company and said that we're no longer focusing on Reels. We're going back to focusing on visual content, images, slideshows in particular. You can still post Reels, but it's just not. Reels were the way to get the views and to get the growth over the last year or so, and that's not going to be the case the rest of this year.
I wonder why. Like, why is it? Because there's too much overlap between a Facebook Reel and an Instagram Reel, or like?
I don't know, man. I kind of think they've just had so much pushback on the changes that they were making on Instagram and trying to make it more like TikTok, and people wanted the images and like that. People were complaining about it. So
sorry, I just opened Instagram and it just started randomly playing something. My bad. I was trying to look at it. I was like, what does Instagram look like? Because I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah. So I think, I think they're just trying to go back to like what the people want. Like, they're trying to give them what they want, and Reels are performing well on Facebook. So, but it's interesting. Like, to me, Instagram is not a growth platform to begin with. Like, it is a conversion platform. It's a place for them to get to know you. If you're a blogger or a podcaster or a YouTuber or a TikToker, Instagram is the place for them to go and get to know you as a person. And you might have some like very specific content on your platform, but like, they're really there on Instagram to see your stories and to see the behind the scenes and like what's going on in your mind and to see your day to day. And so if you use that as your engagement platform, your, building trust with your audience platform, and use it for sales, like that's what it's for. And so TikTok can integrate really well with Instagram because you can be generating tons of traffic and clicks and leads from TikTok, and you can connect your Instagram, and people can go to Instagram to, see your stories. You can sell in your stories. You can sell in the DMs. And that's, it's just understanding like how the tools fit together. And so I think it's just, I don't know what Meta has planned for Instagram, but I'm guessing that what they were trying to do wasn't working. So they're going back to what worked and what everybody loved about it. And, I just only brought it up because, those are things that like, if you're not really paying attention to what all these companies are doing on social media, like you wouldn't know. And I have been paying attention to that lately because it's changing. It feels like every month they're all scrambling to figure out what to do.
Yeah, that's the hard part for me. It's like there's so many different options now, but do you think, is there anything going on with like AI and TikTok? Have you heard anything about that? Because like, yeah, obviously Google and somewhat YouTube, I think like Google's rolled out BART, and all these companies are trying to race in to do the AI thing. Like you had mentioned TikTok doing SEO or potentially focusing on SEO. Have they rolled out any like AI, any tools or anything like that you've seen, or any features?
Not as much that I've seen, but they are really cracking down and focusing on original content. So one of the things that they're doing that I've just learned about recently, for example, because like a really great strategy for growing on TikTok is to take your content that has worked really well and to download it without what is it called? A watermark? Yeah. And then you can literally re-upload it and post it again. And I've had videos where I can think of one in particular where I had maybe 10,000 views the first time I posted it, and I reposted it and got like 400,000 views, and I reposted it again and got like almost 200,000 views where it didn't work as well the first time. But, and you can still do that. It is working. But now what I'm doing is like, if I'm downloading it, I'm actually putting it into CapCut, which is the editing tool that's actually owned by TikTok. And I'm re-exporting it because when you download that video, it has metadata around when it was created and when it was published and all that kind of stuff. And so they are able to see that. But if you re-export it, now it's got brand new metadata. It basically clears it. And so that should help you when you repost and do things like that to get more reach. So that's just kind of like an interesting little tip, something that you could try out. But they're really focused on original content. They don't, the people that are using, there was kind of this quick burst that it was really trendy to use these CapCut templates where it would be like the guy from Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, like eating a sandwich and like music in the background. You'd put a video. I'm like, I tried some of those that were really going viral and I got horrible views anytime I used one of those, but those have almost disappeared overnight. Like they came, they were all the rage, and now like they're not being used very much. And it's basically like TikTok is viewing it as like, this is spammy content. We don't want spammy content. We want more original content. And so trends are still important for growth, but they are moving, it seems, to more like educational, entertainment, original content. And so like I'm starting to do more kind of talking head educational videos based on what I said earlier about the time length, what they're pushing, and that's easier for me. I like that. So I'm starting to do more of that. And honestly, I'm getting, a minimum of like 8 to 10,000 views every time I post one of those videos. So they're performing really well. I haven't had any of them like completely take off the way I've had some of the old content where like I got one right now that's about to hit 2 million views, but the educational content, it's getting a lot of saves. It's getting engagement, and I think that helps you convert. Like you need growth content, but you need that trust building educational content if you want to turn them into sales.
So you're what the one that's doing 2 million, what is that video?
Oh, it's the worst freaking video. I regret making it. I made a talking head video about how I regret making it. Like you have to be careful because you need trends to grow. So like, this is actually a really important thing. If you're starting a brand new account, do not just start going and making educational content that's over a minute long with tips and tricks for your people, because your views early on, you kind of have this like base level of views that they give you to see how your watch time and engagement is and to determine whether they give you more. So if they give you 250 views and you do well, they'll give you 500. Once you do well, 500, they'll go to 1,000. You do well. And like, that's how you go viral. And what I've learned is that your base level views goes up over time as you've proven to be a good creator. Like as you start to have videos go viral, it becomes easier to go viral and your baseline views goes up. And so if you're just starting out, and this is why my original accounts I struggled with, I was doing educational content. I was mimicking what the big creators were doing in that way. And I would never get more than 200, 500 views. I think one of my best videos that I'd had at that point was like 800 views. Once I hit about 10,000 views, my educational content started getting more, right? All of my views went up. Like every time I'd post a video, it'd have about 2,000 views as a baseline. And if you're reaching more people, you have more opportunity to reach the right people that give you the massive watch time that push it. So before you jump into the educational content, you need to master the 5 to 8 second short form content, because that is the growth content. That is the content that has the most viral potential. And so you look at what is happening, like what is that short form content that is trending inside of your specific niche, and you do your version of it. And you got to keep posting that consistently. And then as your baseline views go up, then your educational stuff will work better. So if I started a brand new account today and did the same educational content that I'm doing on this account, like I would probably only get 200 to 500 views. But instead, I'm posting this content and it's getting 200 to 500 views in the first day. And then over the next 48 hours or so, it's hitting 10K, 30K, whatever it may be. And I'm reaching a lot of people. So, there's things that you have to figure out. And that was one of the big things I learned growing it, man, was I was looking at all these big creators and they're doing educational content and they're getting tons of views. And I'd look at the little creators that were doing educational content and they were barely growing. And then they'd have this 5 to 8 second thing and it would just be like 1 million views. Well, the reason that was happening is because it's easier to get watch time on the short videos. So like learn how to do that, figure out what is working for you, and then start adding that educational. And you can do a mix and you're going to grow and you're going to get conversions. And man, I was making sales and I was generating leads even without the educational content. So, yes, that's what they're pushing. And I think that is clearly where the platform's been going the last couple of weeks and where I think they're clearly planning to go. But the trending, short form, and by short form, I mean 5 to 8 second type content where really the value is given in the text, that's still what's driving growth.
I've been looking for this 2 million view video that you don't like for the last few minutes. Is it old?
I don't know when I'm trying to remember when I posted it. But here's why I don't like it is because one, it's not generating me any followers. It's just getting people arguing in the comments. Because I saw a trend. It's basically about like the average American. And I don't even know. I'd have to look at my stuff here. I'd have to look in my what's it called, notifications here to find it. It's like friendly reminder you're doing fine. The average American, and it says like buys their first home at 33, hates their job, has over 100K in consumer debt, 33% are single, 9% are making over 100,000. And then like my description goes into more depth, and I'm talking to entrepreneurs, and I'm like you are trying to have the overnight success, and you're hustling and you're doing well, you know, compared to like the average folks. Like slow down, breathe, you know, have some patience. Like this is not an overnight thing. And I've had a lot of comments from those people that they're like, oh, thanks. You know, you're hustling. You're thinking you need to do all this. But mostly I just have people that are arguing the statistics, or that they're mad because they're like, there's no way that only 9% of people make that. And then another person's like, there's no way that 9% people make over 100K, or, you know, there's people that are like, oh, I'm so awesome. I'm part of the top 1%. I'm 22 and I own a home. And then there's, you know, people that are, there was these people arguing because this lady lived in Texas and owned a home, and she's like, you only have a home because you live in Texas and it's cheaper there. And it's like, well, you didn't have to live in California. It's just so funny.
Right.
But I regret making the video because it's adding no value to me, and it might end up hurting the account. Like if this is having that much success and it's not attracting the right people, and it's not getting me followers at all, it's getting views and notifications, but it's not generating me any followers. Like, but what if TikTok all of a sudden goes, oh, he's going to be the random stat guy where everybody argues, like, and then I can't get other video to go, you know, like so like in my mind, I saw it, and I saw it being an opportunity and a nice like motivational thing for my people. And then as soon as it started to go off, I went, oh shoot, this was a bad idea. Like, you know, but so you have to be careful. Like the broader your message, the more people you're going to reach. And that is something I've learned. Like I had a video that was doing very well, and it was like talking about people trying to make, you know, 6 to 7 figures as business owners. And I took it one level broader and was like, how to use your business to quit the 9 to 5. And it was the difference between 30,000 views and 150,000 views, right? Just changing that, taking that headline formula and making it broader. And so like you can use that to reach people, but like this one went a little too broad. But what it did is it created so much engagement and watch time and argument, because as people are bitching at each other in the comments, the video's looping this 5-second video. So if it takes them 30 seconds to watch the video, that's a lot of watch time, you know?
Right.
And that's what's happening. That makes sense. So I think you have to stay on message. And I screwed up with that. I wasn't thinking it through. So you have to stay on message. You got to know who you're talking to. And going viral doesn't matter if it's not the right people.
Yeah. So what's your next, I mean, I guess 100K would be your next milestone. Like, how long do you think it's going to take before you get there?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would say I probably went from 30 to 50 faster than I went from 50 to 60. But I'm trying to refine my content and be more on topic. And I'm not really worried about hitting 100,000. Like, my base level views are really good. I'm reaching a lot of people. I'm generating leads every single day. You know, so I don't know. I don't have like, I'm not chasing like 100,000 followers. What I'm chasing is, can I consistently produce a certain amount of content every day? And then just keep getting better at it. And then can I do it faster? So like what I'm really trying to do, is I'm trying to do like that pay yourself first concept, right? Like we always talk about, like, you know, you do your daily email at the beginning of the day and you pay yourself first. Like I'm trying to do that with my videos. So I'm trying to have that content, that I put out at the beginning of the day and then just be done. Like
Right.
not open the app, not look at it. Like I just want it to be something like I create it and I'm out. And I go focus on other things. So that's more, I'm more focused on, being a better creator and being more time efficient with it because, if I'm not careful, I'll just get there and get obsessed watching, other things, trying to learn all the little stuff. So, and I'm trying to find my message and my voice and all of that,
Right.
because I didn't start it with a plan. I started it just to see how fast I could grow, and did that really well. And so now I'm going, okay, I need to make this more about, I want to attract more business for my agency. So I'm trying to be more intentional with that. And part of that is I'm trying to figure out what is that, right? Like, what do I need to talk about? Do I need to talk about getting more traffic because we help people get traffic? Do I need to talk more about like how to convert leads, right? Because we do help people with that, but like that's a problem people have. Do I need to talk about, helping people to build their offer? That way I'm reaching more people, and when they're ready, they'll come hire me. Like, I'm trying to figure that out. So, that's part of it too.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun to watch. I think, I don't know. It reminds me like you've like slowly kind of been refining your message. And it's like back when I first started blogging, like I just wrote about random shit. And
Yeah.
I did the same stuff where I would like write stuff for like controversy or whatever, or like something that I thought would be like, I don't know, get people talking, and it worked really well. But man, it took me 7 years to like finally figure out like, okay, this is what this site is going to be about, and this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it seems like you're figuring it out much faster, which is nice. But you also know what you're doing.
You get so much more feedback. I mean, one of the things I love about the platform. So like, for example, I still have the YouTube. I have not been publishing as much with YouTube, but I just kind of realized that I had more, this was doing more for me. So I had to prioritize this. But when you post on YouTube, you post a video and then it takes time. Right. Yeah. And so like, I want to get back to just posting a video a week. So I'm just doing it and it's growing over time. But this, like, you can post once a day, which is what I did to go from 0 to 10,000. Or you can post multiple times a day. And if you post 2 to 3 videos a day, you get a lot of feedback very quickly about what works, what people engage with. Like, and there's a difference between getting views and getting likes and getting saves and getting shares. And I'm figuring out what does which thing. I'm really trying to push more for comments and saves than likes and views right now, because I know that if there's saves, that people will keep coming back to the video, and it gives the videos potential to go viral later. And it also signals to the algorithm that like, hey, people want to know this, so it's going to rank a little better. And I want comments, because if somebody comments, it's very easy for me to respond to the comment and create a video. I don't have to plan the content. I can just engage with what they're doing. So I'm really like, my CTA at the end of every video has turned into like, if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments and let me know if you have any questions, so that way I can help you. Because now if that person's commenting, the video's looping, I'm getting more watch time. But if they comment, then I can comment, and then they come back and comment. Like, those conversations create watch time, but it also gives me an opportunity to create a video without having to think about it and figure out like, what questions do people actually have? So you get so much more feedback than you do with other platforms, which I love. And then I've just been fortunate. Like, I have, going on 10 years of marketing knowledge now that I'm applying to this. Like, I was able to kind of figure it out very quickly and crack the code, because we've been doing this forever, man. Like, there's certain things,
I know,
that are so, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah, the SEO thing's interesting. You mentioned this, so we'll end on this. Everybody, talks about how the younger people are using TikTok for SEO and how they're pushing SEO. And there are signs that that's the case. I have a hard time with it, because if I search anything in TikTok, I think the results are garbage. So I don't understand how could it be effective SEO if the results aren't good. But at the same time, I have noticed that some of my best content, when you click on the video, there's always a search bar at the top, and there will be a keyword on something. So if it says like, I think, let me see what it says sometimes, like if it doesn't know. So like I have one right now, it did very well, it got me a lot of followers, it got views, and it says social media marketing. It identified a topic for the video. And then I have another one that didn't do very well. It actually had under 1,000 views, which is not very common for me. And it says find related content, like in the search bar. So I do think there's something, and this is kind of the thing I'm trying to figure out now. And I know I've asked you some SEO questions because I'm trying to figure this out. Like, maybe their search engine is not performing well yet, but they clearly want that to be a thing because they talk about it. So can I figure out how to categorize my videos? So, and if while doing that, getting them categorized, is it just happen to be that my ones that are categorized do well, or is it because they have more data and so they got categorized, or can I create videos that more easily get categorized and therefore get pushed? Like that's kind of the thing I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. I'm happy to talk to you, but I don't know. The TikTok thing is going to be, I just wonder what I could see them doing SEO. I think it makes a lot of sense. SEO is such a black box to begin with, but I think it's a good idea to try and be an early adopter.
Well, and my questions for you about SEO aren't necessarily about like to rank in TikTok. It's more about, you understand how to figure out what content you need to take people through a buyer's journey. And so I'm more looking at it as like, I'm trying to figure out my message and the journey people need to go on and the questions that they're going to be asking. And
that makes sense.
And so I'm trying to figure out what is the content I should be talking about, whether it's here or it's on YouTube. That way I can start creating that content and maybe it gets me to rank. But if nothing else, it starts to create this database of content and questions, and I can see what performs, so it's not so much like, hey, I want to know how to rank because it's a totally different algorithm. It's more like, hey, like when you've talked to me, like, how do you come up with the questions and the topics? I'm trying to understand that because that's never how I've created. I've just created based on like what's on my mind, what's happening with a client, question somebody asked me, and I want to be more strategic with it. And part of that is this idea of like, I want to take less time to create. So if I'm being more strategic, I can just go, okay, well, today I'm talking about this, and this, and I can go. Because I'm not a big scripting person anyway. So anyway, that could be another episode talking about that. But I mean, you sent me, maybe that's what we talk about next time. Because you sent me a 2-minute voice message that was like loaded. It was super helpful. So
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, cool. All right. Well, we have to go work. So everybody have a great week. Bye-bye. And we'll see you next time.